It's Tyler here, or Damus Tyler, whatever you want to call me, and I'm going to show you how I do my photos. I'm basically just going to show you how I edit them and replace like the sky and stuff and make it more colorful, and you kind of see how my feed is right here. It's just making the colors pop out. Look at this one to this one, because this is my new feed, so don't worry about this one and the ones below it, but you kind of just see how I pop out the colors and add moons and just basically replace the sky, basically, because this wasn't like this whenever I shot it under the camera. So I'm gonna show you how I do just add star trails, and just I'm basically just gonna show you how I replace the sky and make it more colorful and stuff. So we're just gonna find a good sunset image here, and I'm just going to import these real quick. So I'm just gonna go to my camera. No, wait a minute. They're in here. Okay. I shoot in RAW, so that's why it's .nef, nef. You can search up the meaning of that. I like to tweak it in Adobe Camera Raw before I put it in Photoshop and stuff, so I can get the highlights down and basically just see if anything is underexposed or overexposed, and it's not, so we are just going to make sure everything's good. So I'm going to shift click both of these images and open them. I like to use Camera Raw for like whenever I'm doing a Photoshop edit and replacing the sky, or just doing anything in Photoshop. I like to edit it in Adobe Camera Raw first, because whenever you open it in Photoshop, that's what it's going to open in first. So we're going to use this image here because I took this one first, and secondly, I like how the sun is and stuff. Only thing I don't like about, I got a bird in the photo, I did not notice that. I'm just now noticing that when you guys are. Anyway, I might print these out and make them a poster or something and put them up on my wall, or sell them, or do whatever if you guys want me to. So we're just gonna find a good sunset image here, because I like this sky, but there's not many clouds, so I want a lot of clouds. So I'm going to find, if I can find one here. I'm gonna go to tool. I go to tools, and then I select larger than 2 megapixels, and the size is gonna be 1600 by 1200. So that's what I do before I choose any. I might do this one. Alright, yeah, we're gonna try this one. If not, we'll just find a different image. So basically what I do is I resize it to the way I want it, rotate it, and I bring the brightness, I mean the opacity down, so I can see if it's like right where I want it and stuff, so I can measure it. Yes, I know the water is going to be in the sky for a second, but we're going to fix that. And I'm going to make this big enough to where the water is not in the sky. There we go. So we're just going to let that do its thing. Then we're going to turn the opacity back up. And then we're going to go to the layer styles panel. And you're going to go down here, and you're going to select blend if blue. Then you're gonna go to the underlying layer, and you're just gonna drag that to the right. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want it to start disappearing. You kind of just want to find to where the whole image is still there. So I'm gonna do right about 92. And then if you want, you can hold Option or the Windows key, because I have multiple screens and I have a Windows type of keyboard, so it's like different controls and stuff. But it's Option on a Mac, and I think it would be Alt or Alt on a Windows, and you can fade it out if you want, so it's not like, let me do this again. So 92, Alt, click, and it like splits it in half so you can fade it out, and it's not as bright and it looks realistic. So that's what we started with, and that's what we have now. So that's kind of like where I'm going, and I think it's pretty good. I don't see any mess ups or anything. I'm gonna zoom in here so I can check and see. I don't see any mess ups. That's why I'm turning the layer off and on. But so if you see a mess up, add a layer mask, go to the brush, make your brush small, and your opacity to what you like it at, and then press X or D. X is black, D is white. X is black, D is white, and that's basically your foreground and your your foreground. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that wrong. Your foreground and your background color. Okay, yeah. And you just want to go around like the trees and stuff, or whatever your image consists of, and just kind of like brush it so it doesn't look like it's overlapping them. And we still got that bird in the sky, so this is good. But I did see a mess up with the bird, so, but whenever you switch it to a JPEG, it's not going to be that noticeable if you really look at it. But we'll just fix it just in case. Actually, I think it'll be fine, to be honest. That's just me, though. I think it'll be fine. It looks a little weird, but, you know, whenever you're looking at it like this, you can't even really tell unless you, like, really look at it. So I think we might just combine these layers, get the select, no, not stroke, fill, content aware, and make the bird not there anymore, since that's going to be a big deal. So then we're going to do this image, and we're going to do the same sunset. Turn the opacity down. Make sure the water is not in the sky, because that's just not realistic. There we go. Turn the opacity back up. Click on the layer. Go to blend if blue. Go to the underlying layer. It might... Now you see how, if we zoom in here, you see how this happens? That's why sometimes you want to fade it out. And if fading out don't work, bear with me here. I'm trying to get this just right, or the way I like it. So I'm gonna leave it like right there, I'd say. Add a layer mask and make sure this is positioned how you want it. You have the layer mask, switch it to black, excuse me, and just go across the trees. Bump the opacity and the flow up if you have to, because the higher it is, the more it'll erase. So I'm going to bump this up all the way so I can see if there's anything on the foreground that I need to erase. And I think we are good. This one doesn't look as good. This one doesn't look that good as this one does. So I think we're just going to delete that one. But you get the gist. It really just matters on the photo. And you can save as. You go back to your documents or wherever your Lightroom pictures are saved. And then you click. You want to find the file name of the original one. So here's the original one. Then you want to save as copy because you don't want to lose that one. Then you save it, and you are done. Then you just go into Lightroom and do the color grading and stuff, and I'll show you how I do that in the next video. So I'll see you guys later. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram if you want. Peace.